Hello, everyone, and welcome back. As always, I'm your girl, Candy Washington. And before we dive into today's episode, which is Denise Richards breaking her silence on what happened between her and Lisa Rinna, where she stands with Garcelle, and what we can expect on her appearances on the upcoming season of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Before we do that, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share, and shop our Soft Life collection that's down below. So, with that, let's dive right on in. So, this is according to People magazine. It says, while opening up about her former friendship with Rinna, Denise questioned how could she sacrifice a friendship of 20 years for a show that isn't going to last forever. Well, Denise, this may be a new flash to you, sweetheart, but Lisa Rinna was never your friend. Just because you knew her, just because you guys came up together, doesn't mean that she was someone that you could trust. And I know it hurts when you realize that you've been friends with a snake for 20 years. You've been friends with someone who's low key has been super jealous of you, who has envied your beauty, your money, your social status, everything. You know, you were a Bond girl, you were in Wild Things, you are a sex symbol, you were married to Charlie Sheen. And I think you had the career that Lisa Rinna wishes she had. You know, you've been a continuous working actress. So I love you, Denise. And I know that it hurts when you realize someone who you thought was your friend was a jealous snake the entire time. So, from your perspective, you feel like she threw away a friendship. From Lisa's perspective, she doesn't care because she was never a true friend to you to begin with. Your true friend is Garcelle. Okay. Now, Denise Richards is opening up about the unfortunate way her longtime friendship with Lisa Rinna has unraveled following her stint on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. In her two-part appearance on Bethany's Frankel Just Be podcast, Denise reflected on her fractured relationship with Lisa and how the Bravo series took a toll on their friendship. Quote, my experience with Lisa Rinna was so bad that I thought, okay, what would happen next season? She recalled on Frankel's podcast. I did have a crappy experience. It wasn't good with Lisa Rinna, and it was sad to me. She continued, I had a 20-year friendship with her, and to see how she could sacrifice a friendship of 20 years for a show that isn't going to last forever, obviously she isn't on it anymore. Like, at what cost? Like I said a couple of seconds ago, Lisa was never your true friend. And honestly, you should be thankful that you see who she really is now, because she probably could have sabotaged you in some other way that's even bigger and crazier and more negative than the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Now, Denise, if I were you, I would have came back to the show. I wouldn't let a snake like Lisa Rinna run me out of my check, run me out of my position, and snatch a diamond out of my hands. So I would have came back if I were you, Denise, and I would have come back guns a-blazing with the receipts a swinging, with the shade popping. That's what I would have done, because no one is going to push me out of my position. Now, I know you're coming back to the show as a friend of, and you're going to do these guest appearances, but it would have been nice if you could have gotten your diamond back, you know? But we'll keep going. She continued, oh, that's right. Richards first joined the series in 2019 for season 9. Her decision to turn in her diamond came after a tense season 10, during which the actress found herself at odds with nearly all of her co-stars. As fans know, Richards' last season was largely centered on drama, including her being upset that the topic of threesomes were brought up by her fellow housewives at her family barbecue, where her children were present. She also had a falling out with Lisa over rumors she had an affair with Brandy Glanville, allegations she adamantly denied. Now, I don't think she had an affair with Brandy Glanville. I think Brandy Glanville wishes. I think Brandy Glanville basically made a deal with the devil. I think she said to Kyle, and I think she said to Erika, and I think she said to Lisa Rinna that she would come on, she would lie, she would stir the pot, she would start the rumors if they would back her in getting her diamond back. And the girls were like, yeah, Brandy, go ahead, lie on Denise, do what you got to do. And they basically sat back, let Brandy look like a damn fool. And of course, they actually didn't end up truly having her back in any meaningful way. Sure, in the press, because don't forget, in the press last season, Erika, who I never knew was friends with Brandy, Kyle, who miraculously has now become friends with Brandy when they used to beef so hard, and Lisa Rinna and some other people were like, yeah, let's bring, Brandy back. Why would all of them all of a sudden want to bring Brandy back to the show unless they already had a deal, already had a pact, already had an alliance with Brandy? Brandy threw Kim Richards under the bus, and their friendship is now over. And then all of a sudden Kyle was like, oh, bring Brandy back. So the moment she plays the hell out of your sister, now you want her back. But when she was friends with your sister, you and her used to beef, right? And then also the scene when Brandy came in and was like, oh yeah, me and Denise hooked up. That was the most scripted scene you could ever imagine. Oh, I just happened to be in full glam. I just happened to have a mic on me when I was supposed to be just popping by Kyle's with Kim's. Like, girl, bye. Please stop. That was all planned. Um, so I think that's very telling. And I do think Brandy made a deal with them. And so she brought up that lie because they wanted to take Denise down because they're jealous. Denise is beautiful. Denise has money. And Denise was getting paid very well, because she's Denise Richards. And I think that they all were deeply, deeply jealous. Okay. Denise confessed she thinks the two would still be friends if not for her 2-season stint on the show. I think that you learn a lot about people when you live with them, travel, or work with them. I had never worked with Lisa before, she added. Despite their crazy journey on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, the Wild Things actress isn't against returning to the series full time now that Rinna has handed in her diamond, aka the girl got fired. We'll see whatever happens, she considered, before opening up about her decision to make an appearance in season 13. I don't know if they'll ask me back. I just did a few episodes. I didn't call to say, hey, can I come back? Though Denise may be open to coming back to the show, she hasn't forgotten the feuds she's had with other housewives. The actress confessed she didn't know how her return would make sense given the animosity she still shared between some of the old ladies. I think it would make perfect sense, Denise, because I want to see that play out. Is there a resolution? Is there going to be accountability? Is there going to be a conversation and a confrontation? I think it's great that you have friends on the show and then you also have, not enemies, but I guess like frenemies on the show that you have issues with, that makes it more interesting. As long as it doesn't get too dark or too evil or too, down in the dumps, I think it's good to have different types of relationships with different women on the show. And then watching that journey and see how it unfolds, I think is interesting. After my second season, I also, because I wanted it to be real, thought, how would this make sense if all the women effing hate me? She said. Almost everyone did, except for Garcelle and Sutton, but everyone else was such an a-hole to me. I guess she's talking about, Kyle, vile Kyle, goodbye Kyle, ding dong, Dorit. Who cares about them? Who freaking cares? Crystal, I think, would probably like her. I think at this point, I think Crystal would like her, Sutton and Garcelle. Erika is an evil hater, so who cares what she thinks? Kyle is an evil hater, who cares what she thinks? Dorit is irrelevant, so who cares what she thinks? Come on back, Denise, the water's fine. Richards confirmed to Variety in April that she's filmed some episodes of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Her surprise return comes 2 years after her exit was announced in September of 2020. It's been fun, and I'm a big fan of the show, so it was fun to go back and film a lot of stuff with them, she shared. Richards explained that her return wasn't planned. This all just happened recently on a spur of the moment, she explained. I was at Garcelle's screening as a friend, like a real friend. See, Garcelle is a real friend. She's not jealous of you. She's not hating on you. She's loyal and she has your back. So you should come back and join forces with her and Sutton and Crystal if Crystal stays on the show. I didn't tell anyone I was going to be there. Production didn't know. I just showed up, like for a real life, as a real friend in real life. The next day, I was asked to go to some events, and so it's been actually fun, she added. Now, don't forget, in the upcoming season, we have seen previews of her and Erika Jayne basically going at it. Erika was like, oh, I can get a bundle of, Denise Richards, nudes or whatever on fans only for $7. And Denise was just like, yeah, you're an evil woman. And Erika's like, I am. Like, it's just disgusting. Like, Erika, ugh, like go in the corner and pat the puss and just leave everybody else alone. Like, we don't need you, Erika, piping in. We don't need you to be evil. We get it. You're evil. Like, next. Like, what else is good? Just a hot mess. But I wanna know what you guys think. Are you like me and you're like, Denise, open your eyes. Lisa Rinna was never a friend to you. You knew her for 20 years, but she wasn't your actual friend because a real friend would have never did you dirty the way she did. Do you think Brandy was a plant? With the whole Denise Richards hookup rumor. I do. I think that was a planted story so the women could have someone to go after and take Denise down a peg or two. And Brandy did it because she thought that would get her back on the show. And obviously, it backfired because she's not back on the show. What do you think about Denise returning? Do you want her back full time? And, yeah, are you looking forward to seeing this season? I am. So put down your questions, your comments, and everything else. But before you do that, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.